Hi, welcome to the Frontier Co-op Kitchen. I'm Chef Kurt Friese, and in my house, it just isn't Thanksgiving without my mom's wild rice dressing. So that's what we're gonna make here today. We're gonna use the Simply Organic spices because they're the freshest you can get, and we're gonna mix those with some sausage and some celery and some mushrooms and put it in the oven. It's gonna be really delicious. Okay, so we've got our oven heating up to 350. We're gonna put some wild rice in the boiling chicken stock here. And then we're gonna turn to browning the sausage. Now you can do this at home if you swing that way, want to do the vegetarian version. You can do this without the sausage, without the butter. Use oil instead and increase the amount of sage that you're using, maybe double it up, and that'll work out just fine. So we're gonna add a little bit of butter. We're gonna add a pound of the breakfast sausage. This is the sage kind, same stuff your grandma made at breakfast time. I'm going to break it up a little bit, but not too much. You don't want it to be fine grind. You want, little chunks, sort of mini meatballs of sausage floating around in this. So we're going to let that brown. And while it's browning, we're going to go over and cut up our vegetables. Stalks of celery here. And we're going to cut the white part away, split it down the middle, like that. Notice how I keep my fingers curled back and the knuckle is what guides my knife. So the thickness of the cut is determined by my left hand, not by my right hand. Dicing an onion. There's probably nothing in the kitchen that you end up cutting more frequently than an onion. We're going to start by taking off the end and splitting it in half. Now I'm going to cut across this direction, that is to say, against the grain of the onion. But you'll notice, if you look closely, that when I cut through here, I leave it attached at this part. I don't quite cut all the way through. Again, my finger's curled and my left hand is determining the thickness. Now it's still attached right in here. Now we get to that point where it wasn't cut all the way through. So I cut like that, and I go this way. And we're going to chop up some portobellos. Now you can use creminis if you prefer, if that's what you can find in the store. Cremini mushrooms are just baby portobello mushrooms. They're the same thing. Just going to stack them up like this, cut it fairly thick one way, then we're going to go back through and dice it the other way. Pretty coarse. You want these to be chunky in the finished dish. So. Okay, so our sausage is nice and brown now. We're going to turn the heat back to about medium, and we're going to start adding these other ingredients. First, the celery. And the onions, and the mushrooms, and then of course our Simply Organic spices. We got parsley, sage, and thyme, so like Simon Garfunkel, but forget the rosemary. Alrighty. I'm going to stir all that up, cook till all the vegetables are nice and tender. Okay. Our rice is ready. Most of the liquid is absorbed. The rice kernels are starting to burst open. So liquid and all, we're going to add to the casserole here. Okay, and then we've got our oven already preheated to 350. And I'm just slide the whole thing right in there. We'll take the lid off for the last 20 minutes or so. Okay, so our wild rice has been in the oven covered for about 20 minutes, then we uncovered it, and now it's been about 10 minutes, should have a real nice crust on it. Let's take a look. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, that right there. And it smells fantastic. It's got that great crust, and look when we stir it up how it changes. Look at that. Oh, that smell just brings me home. All that sage, thyme, parsley. Oh yeah, takes me home. So there you have it. That's my mom's wild rice dressing. For this and lots of other great recipes, visit simplyorganic.com.